Jamie, welcome to Podcastina.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you to Monty mostly.
I mean, it's all thank you to Monty.
Yeah.
The gratitude
He's the reason we're
lies
all here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the reason here. I've been starting to say at the beginning of the show that this is the show where I try to be the person my dog thinks I am.
Oh, I bet you are.
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know for sure, but look, I mean, he could not love you more.
But the thing is, I feel like anyone could take him and he would love anyone this much.
Well, don't say that. You don't know.
I don't know, but I don't know how deep his loyalty is.
Although I did get a lot of kisses when I walked in the door,
nice.
so maybe he's just a lover.
He is such a lover.
Yeah.
He's
That's very
barked at
sweet.
like 2 people ever.
He didn't even, I mean, you had to save him from the coyote.
I will talk about that. I had to run from a coyote on Friday night that was down in the marina without giving away my exact coordinates, but there shouldn't
Trying to
be.
eat. Trying to eat Monty.
Trying to eat Monty. Or trying to eat me. I don't know.
I mean, we'll never know.
We'll never know. That's right.
But you saved both of you, so
Yeah.
good for you. That's so scary.
It's just
Terrible.
It's been wild. You had to evacuate. I didn't have to evacuate.
Yeah, you're right. I had it worse.
Yeah. What was that like?
What was it like? Really fun. Someone at a show last week was like, it's really hard to feel bad for you because you stayed in mansions in Mar Vista, Beverly Hills, and Manhattan Beach. So your evacuation life was way nicer than your real life, which is true. But it was crazy. Like it came down to the end of the cul-de-sac. So like the hill right at the end of my street is like all black. And we snuck back up one day that we weren't supposed to be there. Don't tell anybody. And I went to my friend's parents live like parallel to us. And I went down to her house. It's a whole story. I had to save her neighbor's bird. It was a whole thing. But when I went down to her house to get the key to the neighbor's house, her backyard was like literally on fire. Like it was like right there.
How'd you get past the closures?
There weren't any yet.
Oh.
So we got evacuated Tuesday, like immediately. And then Wednesday, it was like Palisades, Eaton. Like they were so like stripped of resources. So they hadn't blocked where I live yet. So we snuck back up really quickly. And then after that, the like National Guard everyone was blocking the street. But yeah, I floated. I started in Mar Vista and then went to Beverly Hills. And then I was supposed to go to the valley, but my friend's house smelled like smoke. She was out of town. So then I went to a friend of a friend's in Manhattan Beach and then back to Mar Vista for a couple of days. And now I'm starting to slowly unpack. But it feels crazy. Like I'm just afraid of everything.
Yeah, the anxiety hasn't worn away yet, and I'm waiting to have my own Band-Aid ripping moment since there's no reason for me to be there yet. I haven't seen the carnage yet.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. I mean, not in the Palisades. You're not allowed to go. Like, you're not allowed to like go to Sunset unless you lived on Sunset.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen it firsthand. I think it would be weird. Like, my best friend grew up in the Highlands. So, like, the rec center that we used to hang out at burned down and, like, the village is gone. I mean, it's just weird. Like, I don't know why this is, like, maybe won't make sense. But, like, it's so weird to me that, like, the markets burned down, like Gelson's. I don't know. I just feel like whenever there's, like, fires, you never hear about, like, the grocery stores always feel like staples. But, like, it's weird that, like, the whole Gelson's is just, like, gone. I don't know. I mean, I know people's homes are gone, so maybe that's silly. But it's, like, the markets are always just, like, there.
It is weird because that particular area is so commercial and
Yeah.
seems like it would not be susceptible to that. And I mean, I didn't lose my home or anything, so this is not a comparison, but like I used to go right at that Starbucks all the time. The Starbucks is gone. When I was a Lyft driver and I would work in that area, I would go to that Gelson's to pee a lot. So like I've been in that, that Gelson's
So
a
you
lot.
have a really tight bond with that Gelson's. Yeah.
But just in general, I've worked there a lot, so I've a ton of clients that have lost their houses, and that's just crazy. I did this really, I guess, masochistic thing one day where I started looking through my emails and pulling up addresses of clients in the Palisades, and every single one, it was after the map was up, and they were all gone. I like stopped before I found one that wasn't.
What a strange thing that you did that.
I know. I don't know why I would do that. I'm just like, I haven't cried yet today. Let's bring it up.
How can I torture myself?
Yeah. Someone is going to get canceled for lying about these fires.
and you may or may not know who.
I won't pull the trigger. He loaded the gun. I won't pull the trigger.
Well, we know it's a he. Narrowed it down quite a bit. It was obviously going to be a he.
It was
it was never going to be a she. Yeah. We know that. Okay.
I know I left you with a big piece of gossip.
It's like really hot.
I'm cutting it out so the audience is like, what? But I mean, if you're listening to this, show me that you've rated, reviewed, and subscribed to the podcast. And I might tell you this.
Instead of your Patreon, it's just the.
That's right.
Yeah, just hot goss. Okay. I'm ready. Anyway, so I'm back in the house.
You're back in the house.
Back in my house. I'm like, I don't want to say I have PTSD because I don't think it's like.
But it's fair to say
dramatic.
It's fair to say everyone has at least a little bit of PTSD. Even people,
yes.
I didn't evacuate and I still felt traumatized just with all the false alarms.
Yes.
And with knowing so many people that lost it and like the collective compassion that we all feel.
City, like my friends here and I were like, even people who weren't affected were affected. The fires were coming from literally every direction.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I mean, everyone just felt, I mean, I had people who left LA, they weren't even evacuated, but they were like, I feel trapped and I just want to like get out of the city. And everyone knows someone who lost something or who, because just like the city's not as big as everyone thinks it is.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm just like, okay, like someone has to be home with the cats at all times. Like, where are mementos? Like, I'm just like very now like, okay, where is everything? Where is everyone? Is everything off? I don't know. I'm just like, I can't light a match. I don't know. I'm just like, I feel very on edge.
It did give me this weird perspective on what belongings I do and don't care about.
Yeah, it does.
It's the new Marie Kondo. Would you save it in a fire? Like, forget if it brings you joy. Right. Would you take it with you in an evacuation?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, people left pets behind, which I think is...
That's psychotic.
It's truly psychotic. The people I feel terrible for... that was almost a sentence. The people I feel terrible for, the ones who were like at work.
And
by the time they got home, the police were like, no one's allowed up there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would...
That is the worst.
Like I would have gotten arrested trying to push past them.
Same. There's no way I wouldn't have snuck in somehow and probably gotten myself in a ton of trouble. But I was just like nonstop taking all this content in. Everybody that was posting about it, I was watching everything. And one girl was like, well, I left and I took my pet and I didn't bring anything else because I just thought I was coming back. And so she like didn't take the packing seriously and didn't bring anything with her.
That seems silly. Well, the bird that I rescued, the owner was like, well, I didn't think we'd be gone that long. And I was like, if it was unsafe enough for you to be home, why would you? And also, like, even if it's 4 days, who's going to feed the bird? Like, how's the bird going to eat? Anyway, so I broke into this lady's house and my mom and I saved her bird. I don't even like birds. And he was very mad at us, but he is rescued.
Did you have to take him like cage and all or?
How do you? Well, it became a debacle. Yeah, it became a whole thing. So we like, as we were pulling up to this lady's house, there was like a worker, which now that I'm looking back at it, I'm like, was he a worker or was he a thief? Because there were so many people who went up to like rob these houses that were unattended with no power. And he just like had a vest on. So I assumed that he was like legit. Anyway, I was like, are you a fireman? And he was like, no, I'm like doing construction down the street. So I just came to check on everything. Thank you, Monty. And I was like, okay, well, I'm about to go into this house to rescue this bird, but the cage won't fit in my car. Can you take it down the hill for me? So this like poor unsuspecting man got roped into helping me save this bird. So my mom and this man and I broke into this lady's house. And as I was walking in, I was like talking shit because I was so mad that she left the bird behind. And then all of a sudden I heard someone go, hello. And they had set up a ring camera on the cage. So she just fully heard me talking shit about her, which like fine, whatever. Maybe she learned her lesson. So there was like a travel cage in the garage. So we had to like capture the bird from the house cage and get him into the travel cage. Anyway, it was like fine. My mom ended up being the one to do it because he kept squawking at me and I got sad and I couldn't get it. And then this man kept the bird until he got down the hill and gave it back to this lady. So that's
so ridiculous. And when you said you heard someone saying hello, I thought you were going to say it was the bird.
Oh, no, he was chatty, but it was this, they were like, and I was like, why would you point the camera at the bird? Like, what if your house got, you're going to watch him burn?
Yeah.
Like, what was the purpose? Like, what were you thinking?
So dark.
So dark. Anyway, so And then everything got like barricaded, so we couldn't get back up anymore.
Anyway, that is super stressful. Do you have things that you do to mitigate your stress?
I truly have done absolutely nothing for 3 weeks. Like, I've been the least productive human on the planet. Truly, the only thing I've done is I started Southern Charm, and I'm 5 seasons in, and that's all that I've done for the last 3 weeks. I'm deeply obsessed. I can't believe I was sleeping on it for so long.
I've never seen that one.
I would highly recommend it. I refused to add another show to my repertoire. But I was like, 10 seasons. I need something to get into, and I can't stop. It's so good. Like, so good.
That's exciting. I'm as far as Bravo stuff right now, caught up on Salt Lake and caught up on Beverly Hills. I'm very big into the Housewives.
Okay. How do you watch New York?
No, I haven't. Those are the only 2 seasons that I've been continuously watching.
Okay. I've heard the season of New York is the season of New York is kind of boring. The first season with the new cast was incredible. The season's kind of meh, but I've also fallen behind because literally all I can get myself to watch is Southern Charm. I also rewatched Summer House.
I haven't seen that one. I've tried to watch Summer House and I didn't like it.
Wow. I wish I'd known that before I got here. I don't know if I would have come. Yes. I would have been like, I can't talk to you. I love Summer House. Southern Charm is really good. It's like another world, and it's like 10 years old. So it's just, these people are crazy. Like, one of the guy's dads in the first season makes a comment about how he doesn't like Abraham Lincoln, and then like side eyes the camera as if to imply like, we all know what I'm saying. And they like didn't cut it out. And I was like, we're just going to I was like, this is crazy.
Okay, that I might have to give it another chance, because what happened with me, I've made grave mistakes before with Bravo shows.
Yeah.
Like, back in the day, I couldn't get into Vanderpump. And then when everything happened, then I got into it and retroactively ended up watching the whole show, loving it.
Yes.
And sitting here thinking, what have I done? I could have just been watching this the whole time.
Yeah. I feel like that's when we started chatting.
Probably.
You were like really into Scandival.
Yeah.
I was like, let's talk about it. But that's my thing with Southern Charm too, is like, because I like Paige so much from Summer House, once she and Craig, because there was like crossover from the shows. It was like a Southern Charm guy with a Summer House girl. Once they broke up, I was like, okay, now I feel like I need to like go back and understand why the internet is so torn on like whose fault it was. And I got it. I'd give it a go.
Are you curious about celebrity relationships and breakups? Is that like a...
I feel like it used to be more. Now it's less about like their relationships unless I can watch it unfold on TV. Monty.
He agrees. He heard someone in the hallway.
We're safe. There's a good job.
Monty.
He's doing a good job protecting us.
He's doing such a good job protecting us.
There's a good boy.
Are you following any of this? The Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni?
Right. Okay. Are you?
A little bit on TikTok.
Obviously. Why would
My
you
Bible.
Read? Yeah. Why would you read about it?
Yeah.
I feel like I have. And even when I deep dive, which I have, I feel like I still can't fully comprehend exactly what's going on. And I feel like it's such a like dangerous topic because she's accusing him of like sexual misconduct. So it's like, you don't want to not believe her, but also he's releasing like a lot of receipts, and it's like, really, I don't know. It's not looking good for anybody, honestly, because her original complaint, have you read any of it?
I've read a little bit of it.
Okay. Her like original complaint / lawsuit listed like very specific things that he did. And like all of that sounds terrible. Plus the fact that like the rest of the cast unfollowed him. Like he, like, you know, but also like no one else has said anything. Like no one else in the cast at all.
And usually there's such a pylon in Hollywood when a man is getting canceled. That's when everyone's like, oh, well, this is my time to shine. Let me tell you about the time he grabbed my ass in 2004.
Right. And nothing. And I've been waiting for the Jane the Virgin cast to say something, because I've watched that show so many times through. It's crazy. I've seen Justin Baldoni twice in the wild.
Oh.
And both times I saw him, I started crying.
No. Is he a celeb crush for you?
I don't know, but Jane the Virgin is like so important. Like that show has gotten me through so much.
Yeah.
I just think it's so underrated.
I have shows like that.
Yeah. It's so good. And so like both times I saw him, I like wanted to be like, this show is so meaningful to me and like, you know, whatever. And instead I just started crying and I walked away. So I have to also acknowledge like, am I a little biased? Maybe, but then that makes me the problem. So I don't even know. But like he's releasing receipts like, because she accused him of like walking into her trailer while she was breastfeeding, but then he has a text from her being like
inviting him
like, I'm just breastfeeding, come run lines.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, but did he do it another time when he wasn't invited, or is she stretching the truth? Then he released a video of them filming a scene where they were slow dancing, and
and she's like pining for him after they yell cut.
Mm-hmm. And so now people are like, I bet the lawsuit is Ryan Reynolds because something happened between them and he's behind it all. And it's like, there's too many conspiracy theories and I can't.
That's kind of the take that I'm leaning into. And I mean, judge me if you're gonna, but my favorite take so far has been Candace Owens. I know.
Stop.
No, I know.
What did she say?
So she's bringing the heat with her interpretations of this. I've been watching her. Now I'm just getting clips of her talking about like pop culture. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever.
It's better than her
bygones
talking about
be bygones.
Jews. Yeah.
Right.
Bygones be bygones. So you're anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
What's your take on
Taylor
Lively?
Swift? Okay.
Yeah.
But she broke down the timeline in a really granular way.
Okay.
And what she pointed out was that everything was fine, but then Ryan Reynolds like loves security and was probably watching his Ring camera footage while he was away working on Deadpool of Justin Baldoni like coming over, and it was only after he came home that all of this kind of started to break down, and so she's kind of blaming it on Ryan Reynolds.
Does she think that there was like
she thinks it was a
affair?
work crush. Yeah. She thinks that probably Blake Lively was in a position where she was feeling not as stoked or not as fulfilled in her marriage maybe, and maybe there's some control issues that she was like alluding to a little bit, and that she was around like with Blake being around Justin and him being this obviously really attractive and portrays himself as like this sweet, understanding guy, and
like a feminist.
The voicemails, right?
Like, yeah,
the voicemails make him sound really good and
very hot,
right?
Yeah.
So her take on it was that this is like a Ryan Reynolds driven crusade.
There's a lot of people in that same boat. I mean, it's messy and it's dangerous because of what she's accusing him of. It's
Correct.
Like, how can you not? You have.
I've had deranged work crushes, so I can understand.
I mean, it's not that deranged. Who wouldn't?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean,
especially when you're romantic together, that's your job.
I mean, if he kissed my neck like that, I would file for divorce on site. Are you kidding me? That's insane. But like that whole conversation, he was talking about his wife. It was just like, I don't know. It didn't seem to me. But again, it's just like one little clip. So what do I know? Maybe he did other stuff. I don't know. But it's like, I have friends who don't care about pop culture at all, who are like, what is happening with this? They're like, everyone's so invested. I just wish it would help both of their careers. And I feel like one of them is going to end up having trouble getting work.
It's looking like it's going to be her. At least today, as of today, January 31st.
What does Candace say?
Well, Candace was pointing out that Taylor Swift is now distancing herself from Blake publicly.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Monty looked right at me. Are you invested now?
So invested.
Because in the New York Times, like the long New York Times article about it, they're like, Blake's friend Taylor, like they're really leaning into the fact that like they're buds. I didn't know that. What is she doing to distance herself?
I guess just recently one of Taylor's publicists came out and was like, they're not even friends anymore.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, this is fresh, piping hot tea.
Piping hot. But also, I don't trust Taylor Swift either, honestly.
Sorry,
I don't know. Sorry. I mean, because, right.
Well, she can't have anything making her look bad either.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, I feel like even just the fact that there is drama, she'd be like, no. Even if Blake Lively is in the right. Taylor's very...
I'm not anti her, but I'm not a Swiftie. What about you?
I'm not a Swiftie. Here's my thing with Taylor. I got free tickets to see her in Vegas. I took them and I went. She puts on a great show. She performed for 3 straight hours. I think she is the fakest, most disingenuous human being on the planet. Like, not even just on stage. Like, I think in interview, I think every time she talks, I'm like, I do not believe a word that comes out of your mouth. I get why people are into her. She writes bops, very catchy. I can't stand her. I just can't.
I get that.
But Swifties, they're going to come after me. I wrote an article for a publication that no longer exists. And it was literally like 3 pages of me saying how much I understood how talented she was, and like 3 sentences of me saying, but I can't stand her. And they came at me so hard. Like, the Swifties were so angry. And I was like, I'm going to get canceled. Like, I'm going to get murdered.
Yeah.
But I have to speak my truth. And it's not Taylor Swift.
Yeah. I mean, I am not. I get it. Same as you. I appreciate the enthusiasm with which she performs, the work ethic, for sure.
She works very hard.
She works very hard. I'll give her that. She obviously is doing many, many things correct, or her
Yeah,
career
right.
would not be what it is.
Correct.
I am not blown away by her voice and or songs.
No.
I've listened to a few albums and been like, okay, cool, and got on like a little bit of a kick with one for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I just never went back to it. And
Yeah.
I would never dish out the money to see her live either.
So, like, she's a bajillionaire. Like, do your tickets need to cost $1,200?
Yeah.
Is that necessary anymore? Like, the people who want to see you are teenagers. Like, let them be able to babysit to afford tickets to your show.
Yeah, right.
I think, but maybe that's not a fair
It might
take.
just be secondhand, that the secondhand ticket market might be why her tickets are so expensive. I don't know if she charges out the gate at that high price.
Oh, does she
or
not?
if it's
I think
because
she does.
Maybe she does, but also I know with concert tickets, it's such an issue that there's these like sellers that grab them and then turn them around.
Yeah. But even, but I can't, there's nothing I can do about those people. But Taylor, make it affordable.
We could bring her down a peg.
I mean, just for like a couple hundred people, let them be able to afford the tickets.
I agree.
So Monty can go.
Monty would love to
Oh my God,
wear
Monty,
his
how are you not
swag.
the star of this podcast?
He's gonna be.
Look at him.
Yeah. He ought to be.
Stud.
You're a cat person?
I'm equal opportunity.
Love that.
All animals. I'm not a huge bird person, but I fell into oh my God, I can think of what it's called. Not Komodo dragon, but
serpent? No.
Some kind of like dragon TikTok. I don't know, that's like the pet of the year.
Oh,
and people
lizards.
Are like,
right?
some kind of lizard. But people are like upset, and I got really into it, and I was like, do I need one? Do I need a dragon?
I'm so not a reptile person because you have to feed them bugs and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't think I was, but they're like kind of cute. And then I saw a woman in a red Porsche at the gas station holding her, like live, like just holding her dragon at the pump. And I was like, does he need to help you? Can you just sit in the car? But they're big. But anyway, other than that, most furry animals. One of the evacuation houses I stayed at had 2 rabbits.
Aw.
Very cute. Was very into that.
Rabbits are cute. I wonder how he would be with a rabbit. I feel like he'd befriend one.
What about, but he has a cat friend.
He has a cat friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a rabbit in my garage a couple weeks ago, probably also displaced from the fires, I'm guessing.
Makes me so sad.
It's so sad. I put out like food and
You
water for it.
did?
Yeah, because I
That's
thought
so
it was
nice.
like stuck. But he started barking at it and was like, what the hell is that?
Well, you should have let them hang out.
I know.
I guess a wild rabbit, you don't know
Yeah, that's true.
where it's coming from.
And I think Monty just only would have scared it.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
I
he
wasn't
comes in
thinking-
hot.
Comes in hot. I was only thinking about Monty's reaction to the rabbit and not the other way around.
Monty would love it. He is such a lover of all small animals. And he used to love all animals. But then I learned that he hates horses. Like really
How did
hates
we
horses.
even learn that?
Because I go to a Pomeranian parade every year. because I'm mentally unwell. To bring it back a notch.
Yeah.
So I belong to several Pomeranian groups on Facebook.
This is amazing.
And within those groups, I learned about a Pomeranian parade that takes place every year down in Orange County.
Yep.
And I have taken him 2 years in a row now.
Is it in the summer?
It's in the summer.
Yeah.
And it's part of a bigger parade, which they do. It's like an annual themed parade. There's a bunch of classic cars, and there's, you know, Army veterans and all kinds of other different floats. There's different animal floats too. So the Pomeranians are kind of one of the floats of the parade.
Yeah.
And there was a horse float, and he lost his fucking mind.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was
They're
barking
big.
so badly. And then I was at the end of the parade, we were just walking through the neighborhood, and there was a little miniature horse, like standard poodle size, and I wondered how he was going to react to it, and he lost his mind.
He still didn't like it.
He still didn't like it at all.
He
I think he
knew.
could tell it wasn't a dog.
Yeah, this is not a poodle. This is a this is still a horse. I wonder, Monty, why?
And unfortunately, these days he also hates big dogs because he got attacked by a big dog.
he
So now
did?
he's apprehensive.
I mean, I get that.
Yeah, it's fair
I
enough.
had my heart broken once, and I hate all men. So it's honestly,
Except Justin Baldoni.
obviously, but he's different.
Yeah.
he's not like other men.
What are your? Do you have a celebrity crush, or what's your type?
I don't like. I don't have one. Like, if you looked at my dating history, there would be no through line
I'm always the most curious about that.
with other people.
Yeah.
There just really is like no.
So what's like attracted you to people?
Their ability to hurt me, I think, is really the only thing they've ever had in common. I'm a big personality person. Like, just or people who are like really like passionate about something. Like people who are into something, I find really attractive.
Does it matter what
that
it is?
Not really. I mean, I guess I'm sure there would be lines, but I haven't encountered them. Just like people who get like, who have something they're like even if it's their job or like a hobby that they're just like good at and really into and love talking about. I just like that always gets me. I'm like, great, let's be married. You
like that.
seem great. Yeah. What is your?
I
Who's your
unfortunately
celebrity
have
crush?
such a through line where if you, there's a few exceptions, but if you lined up most of the guys I've dated, you would be like, what fraternity is this? That is the through line, and I still will say to this day that my type is like a reformed frat boy.
Okay. And we're talking like, I mean, because there's a lot of different types of fraternities. But you mean like rugby,
Yeah.
blonde? Yeah. Okay. Like frat.
Might commit white collar crimes, like might.
I don't even know who Mike. Oh, might commit. I thought you said a name. I was like, I don't know who that is. Okay. Might commit white collar crimes.
There's just a lot of, and it's not intentional. I don't know what it is, but I look back at my roster and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of like
my
Matts and
roster.
Andys and like basic names.
Kyle.
You know. No Kyle
Oh, okay.
yet.
They're doing okay.
Multiple like Chris's. That's another.
Oh,
Yeah, just take the
Oh,
most
interesting.
average name, and
no
in there.
Ukrainians.
I dated one Russian and I'll never do it again.
That's it.
Yeah,
Monty hates horses and big dogs.
that's right.
You've sworn off Russian men.
Right.
I think that's fair.
It's
Just
too
pick one.
familial. It grosses me out.
Oh.
I'm like, you can't sound like anyone in my family.
Uh-huh.
Ugh.
Yeah. That's really fair. You went the total opposite direction.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the farm boy from the Midwest? Where's he at?
Where is he at?
Where is he? He's in the Midwest.
He's
plowing a
He's
field.
already married and he's plowing something. He's probably already married with children.
Yeah, I bet he is.
It's really unfortunate. Although I lived in Chicago for 10 years and I was ready. I was like, who wants to be married? Nobody. Nobody wanted to be married.
Well, follow up. What are your red flags?
Such a great question. Lying.
That's a good one.
No drive. I think. Fish pics. Automatic left. I won't even bother. I mean, I have a lot of red flags like from internet dating, and then there are more once you meet them. My list of red flags is way longer than my list of green flags.
I love that, though. I love hearing about that kind of thing.
Do you?
Yeah, please. And
do you take notes?
I don't take notes, but I'm curious what people notice because I know what kinds of stuff I notice.
Are you online currently?
I'm on Raya, which is so douchey. But,
okay. No, good for you.
No, but not good for me because I've gone on 2 dates there, and what's been happening to me a lot lately on it is that I've had like a couple people in the last week or two message me something really confusing about the fact that I'm a comedian, and it's like, should I even have put that on there? But like a guy messaged me a couple days ago, and he was just asking me what it's like to go on stage and if I get nervous and stuff, and I don't know why that was such an ick, but it bugged you? Yeah, it bugs me.
He was trying to make a conversation.
I know, but for some reason, when people come at it with this angle of just complete, I don't know, like they're like so ignorance. Confused about it, they have such ignorance about it, or even worse than that, if they're such fans of it that it starts to cloud their judgment, then I kind of feel like it turns into this weird dynamic where I'm like, you might not be understanding enough of this, where you think it's cool now, but you're not going to think it's cool in 6 months when I'm gone at night and I'm gone on the weekends, and you're like, oh, you got to go tell your jokey jokes, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry you don't understand this.
So would you ever date a comedian then?
I mean, I have, and I like to say I won't again, but
you will.
I probably.
It's hard because they're just around.
It's hard because they're around and they get it.
And
it is a different type of person.
Yeah, and it's like the ones who are nice and quick. It's hard to not have a little crush on that.
It is.
Yeah.
I've had so many crushes. It's been a while since I've had one, though, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I think that speaks more to the quality of men in the comedy scene than to you.
All the ones I think are cute have girlfriends.
Yeah.
They're also all significantly younger than me.
A lesser issue, but still both very problematic. They're all everyone's very young.
It's true.
They're all very little.
I was at an open mic and I was already hurt because I was at the open mic. Like my feelings were already in jeopardy.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there next to these two young boys, like for sure 3 years or under in comedy. And I'm sitting there old, begrudging,
jaded,
like vet, like, oh, I shouldn't be here, but I am. And they were talking about how they're such big fans of a guy that I used to hook up with, and it was the most humiliating, like insulting.
Did you let them know?
No, hell no, absolutely not. But they're talking about how they're such fans of the guy, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, he used to use bed sheets as curtains back when we were banging, but yeah, you're right. His career is way further ahead than mine.
Yeah. Because he didn't waste money on decor and putting his life together.
That's what did it.
Is he big now?
Yeah.
He is?
Bigger, yeah.
I'm going to need
I'll tell you later. That's fine. There's so many. I've had a lot of...
Wasn't there a boy band?
There was, but not... Oh, that's a good story, but nothing happened with him.
But that's you, right? That does exist. Yeah.
Well, I had met a guy in O-Town, and we exchanged a couple DMs, but that was the extent of it.
It's so good. I love that it's O-Town.
Yeah. It's the most random fucking, but still juicy enough to be hilarious to anyone our age who grew up with them.
Our age is the key, to that sentence. Yeah. Because weren't they a Making the Band band?
They were the Making the Band band.
Oh, that's right. Didn't they do one more season with women?
I think so.
But not as.
But the original Making the Band with O-Town was not a P. Diddy production. And then the second Making the Band with Danity Kane was when P. Diddy was involved.
Who built O-Town? Just someone else?
Lou Pearlman.
Oh. Oh. P. Diddy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of celeb stuff popping off.
That trial is going to be a riot.
I mean, I can't even follow it. I just feel like everyone keeps making jokes about the baby oil. And then I'm like, okay, is that all I need to know about this? Because it feels like the most critical piece of the puzzle. I just it's too much.
I think it's going to be more fascinating when the shit hits the fan and they go to court. And I'm sure it's going to be a publicized trial, because how could it not be?
For sure.
And within that, we're going to see if anybody else gets smeared and brought down with him. Because right now there's speculations about like Jay-Z and maybe Usher and maybe other people that were like in his circle and attending those parties. But it's all speculation.
Yeah.
And it's all alleged. But once they go to court, then I think there's going to be some stuff coming out of the woodwork about people.
I mean, people on like Twitter already like deleting, which like we all can see that you're doing that. So how is that helping you? But people are already trying to distance themselves from him. I guess is better than like being like, I have your back, bro. That's going to be on the wrong side of history. A lot of stuff. I didn't realize, I forget like how much.
Well, because it's been 14 months in 2025 so far, and we are only at the end of January, but so much has happened.
That's right. Yeah. And also my brain turned off for 3 full weeks.
Yeah, of course. How could it not?
I mean, I was like a full blob, except for Southern Charm.
Besides watching reality TV, anything else you do to like soothe your nervous system? Or
I used to take edibles.
Used to?
Well, I'm doing IVF now. So I've been, since it's been a year. So since last February, I've not had a single piece of weed.
Wow.
And I've had like 1 glass of wine. And I am off caffeine and everything is terrible. It sucks so bad.
Is that to freeze eggs?
I'm like making embryos and will shortly implant one.
Amazing. That's so exciting.
Maybe. Yeah. It's not going great. So, I mean, I don't know if this is like on topic for your podcast. So you can cut it if you need to. Okay.
I'm also selfishly curious because I want to freeze my eggs this year.
Oh.
Not that that's the same thing, but.
Remind me how old you are?
I'm 35.
You should do it ASAP.
I know.
If you can. Yeah. Have you done any of the testing yet?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, offline or online, I'm happy because I froze my eggs in 2018 and 2019 because my numbers were already really low and I started to freak out and it didn't go that well. So I had to do it 4 times.
Wow.
So I don't have that many eggs on ice, but I did it a lot. So if you have any questions. And then in February of last year, I got told that I'm going into early menopause. So I need to like.
They were like, do it right now.
Now. Yeah. So, the OB-GYN who did the blood work was like, you need to talk to a reproductive endocrinologist immediately. And the RE said, you do not have 6 months. Like, we have to get started immediately.
Whoa.
So I did 2 IVF cycles, then had a polyp removed from my uterus, then did 2 IUI cycles, which is like turkey basting. Then I did another IVF cycle with a different donor sperm. And I only got 1 embryo. And then I did another IUI cycle, no pregnancy. And now I'm currently in the middle of another IVF cycle. And insurance pays for none of it. So I'm like $100K in the hole.
Wow.
Which is dope.
I know that's the thing that's been keeping me from getting a jump on any of it is like I have Medi-Cal. Not that that would do anything for me anyway. Everything's going to have to be out of pocket. But I'm always curious about what the impact of taking hormones like that is on you, energy levels. What do you have to cut out? Obviously, like even just cutting out caffeine seems daunting to me. And I am such a pothead, even though I don't seem like it, I don't think. But I smoke a lot.
I love that.
Yeah.
I wish I'd known that sooner. And as soon as I'm done with this, I would love to come over and get high with you. I will bring snacks. That sounds, I truly cannot wait to take an edible. But you don't, for egg freezing, they really say that you like don't really have to give up that much, especially if like your numbers are good. Like if your AMH is normal and you have a lot of follicles from the ultrasound, honestly, you'll probably be fine to just like live your life as is. I wouldn't drink or smoke for the 2 weeks or month that you're doing it.
Yeah, because you do injections every day for what, 6 weeks or something?
It's like 2 weeks.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
It's
but
really
also,
I
was born not that far from Chernobyl, so who the hell knows what's going on in there?
That's a really good point. Yeah, definitely get it checked out then, just for your own knowledge. But yeah, egg freezing is like, I mean, I had friends who did it who like hated like they were just like so miserable. For me, it's like so critical that I have a child that like now I'm a little more stressed out because it's like I'm racing the clock. Like I'm just like racing menopause to the,
Being a woman is a prison. Yes.
Yep. All of that. Correct. But like when I was freezing my eggs, I was just like, I was like hungrier and I was like exhausted. Like I just felt like I'd been hit by a truck every day. I was so tired. But other than that, I was like, there's really no other choice. Like I'm doing this and I have to do it and I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep going. But it's actually why I moved to LA, because I was in Chicago the first 2 times I did it, and I got 2 eggs the first time and none the second. And so I was like, I can't like keep paying rent and bills and do this again. So I moved home, took out a loan, and did it 2 more times. But it was really like, I don't know, you get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
The injections are like, it takes a second. But otherwise, it's really...
I might take out a loan and do it.
You should.
It is on my to-do list for this year.
You should. And Jewish Free Loan Association.
Oh, okay.
Has no interest loans.
Good to know.
And will give you enough
These
money.
are Jewish eggs.
They are Jewish eggs. You don't even have to be Jewish to take out from
how
them.
generous.
They're wonderful. They're offering fire support right now.
Wow.
They're like really a great organization. I took out a loan from them to freeze my eggs, and I took out a loan from them for my first IVF cycle.
Amazing.
They're really lovely, and they're very quick. Anyway, they have, I don't know how much they offer for fertility anymore. I don't remember, but it's no interest, and they just like start monthly payments as soon as you take it out. You'll just need co-signers or like guarantors or whatever, but otherwise, like,
amazing.
highly recommend.
Good to know there's options, because it's like...
There's options. And there's grants.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of grants.
My uterus isn't waiting for me to have more money.
They're not. It's really not. Yeah. Although your uterus doesn't have your eggs, your ovaries do.
I don't know.
So you might want to do some biology studying first. It might be helpful.
It's so crazy. I didn't even want kids.
Really?
Yeah.
Until
my nephew was born. Little shit ruined
how
everything.
cute is that?
I know, but not cute, because weighing on me now.
How old's your
massive
nephew?
life decision. He's 11 months old. So this is like a very new.
Baby.
Yeah.
Is he in LA?
Mm-hmm.
And now you want a baby?
Now I want a baby.
Look at that.
I know.
Your sister or brother?
Brother.
Mm-hmm. Did he always want kids?
I think so, but I think his wife probably more than him. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're in a headlock about a second kid.
Oh, really?
I
Who
think
wants
so.
one? Who doesn't?
She wants one.
He doesn't.
Well, he's already like, well, we hit the ball out of the park with this one, because my nephew's like perfect. So he's like,
Lightning doesn't
what if
strike
we have a
twice.
less perfect kid?
And you will.
Yeah.
If your first one's a dream, the second one's going to be a monster. That's just science. That's just really how it goes. You get tricked into being like, this was easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get your little demon second child. So
Hopefully not. We'll
your
see.
brother's right, but you should probably still do. They should probably still do it if they want my opinion, which
Right.
they definitely do.
It's just so. I mean, everything he does is so entertaining to me. It's like
really
he
sweet.
learned to stand, and I'm like, oh my god, you learned to stand. And everything is every little hand gesture is like the cutest thing that's ever happened.
You're a really good auntie.
I love to be an auntie to him. It's my favorite. I bought him. I don't think he like grows so fast, nothing fits.
Yeah.
I've never been a Crocs person, but I found Crocs that
Little
were
baby
looked
Crocs.
like soccer balls.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. Ugh.
That's so cute.
Yeah. I gotta get some on ice.
Would you do it alone? No.
No,
You need a man.
I don't want it that
a
bad.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish
Yeah.
I could do it with a woman. If
Well,
sexuality was a choice, I would not be straight. I promise.
I mean,
There's no
my
way.
dream scenario is to find a couple single moms and like live in a commune together.
Yeah, that would be great.
Or single parents, I guess.
Mhm.
I'm not choosy,
Yeah.
but since I'm doing it by myself anyway, it's just more about like an extra body around, like so I can like go run an errand or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
mean, I need help with Monty sometimes.
yeah, it's nice. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends keeps joking that she like her husband's driving her crazy and she wants to live in a commune with her sister and me. And I'm like, literally like, stop teasing me. Like, leave him. Like, I'm great. He's fine, whatever. But like, leave him and let's go live together in a house and raise our children as siblings. Like, that's just, that's the ideal scenario at this time.
I do think that's how we should be living, just more together.
I agree with you.
This is not my theory, so if this sounds smart, don't
Okay.
give me any credit for it. But
Noted.
basically, it's that capitalism wants us to all be by ourselves, because when you live alone, you're the perfect consumer, because you have to pay for fucking everything. You don't get to share anything. You pay all the utilities, the rent, you buy all the furniture, all the food, all the everything. As soon as you're sharing with someone, you're saving money.
Yeah.
So they don't want us living in like multi-generational homes
Right.
or in commune situations. They don't want us sharing resources because it cuts down on our consuming power. I know. I wish I thought of that. It's so smart.
Should we have babies together? Is that what you're saying to me? All I'm hearing is you telling me you want to live together.
I'm just so pro roommate. Like, I always want to live with someone. I always want other people around because I'm like, why are we burdening ourselves by living alone? I get that there's some advantages to that, but ultimately it's like, why should we all have to buy a toaster?
Yeah.
Everything.
A toaster.
Right? For some reason, that's the example.
Really breaks the bank, that toaster. Yeah.
If everyone lives alone, there's such a greater need for housing. There's such a greater need. Right. Everything is amplified as far as how much you need to make and how much you need to spend just to get by. So they want to separate us.
That's such a good point.
But then they also want us to have babies so that they can have more of a workforce. So I don't know.
Where was that a study you read?
No, everything smart that comes out of my mouth I either saw on TikTok or heard on a podcast, and I can't credit any of it anywhere.
I should have assumed it was TikTok.
Yeah, right. It might have been.
Tiny sound bites.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I've been like considering moving back to Chicago. One of my best friends has like a basement that is open to me, and she was like, you can come stay here and help with the boys. She's got 2 boys, and she was like, and then just like be pregnant and just like have your like, we don't care, just like live here. And I'm like, what a like modern family we would be. And also like to your point, like I wouldn't have to, like she has all the stuff already from her 2 children, so it would just be like we'd just be like a weird sister wife situation, and all the kids would just like be in the house.
It needs to be normalized. I do think people would benefit from living in togetherness.
I certainly would.
Yeah. I definitely do too.
Yeah.
There is something to be said for being on your own for like emotional regulation purposes. It's hard a lot of times when other people are around you and you're always having to deal with your emotions, their emotions, and kind of never having. There's also like a really introverted part of me that like needs alone time desperately.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm like, no, people need to be around. Someone needs to know that I didn't come home.
That part is so real. I used to like worry about my roommate, and he would get so mad at me, and he was like, I'm fine, I'm an adult. And I was like, okay, but like, I just want to know that you're safe. Like the Jewish mom in me, like, and vice versa. Like when I lived alone, which was most of my adulthood, I would like, if I slipped getting in the shower or whatever, and I was like, do I need life alert? Like, is anyone gonna know if I just like never get out of the shower? It gets scary.
Yeah, no one would know for at least a couple days.
I mean, my cat would eat my body. I hope she does. Why should she starve too? Let her live. Yeah, it's terrifying.
What did you like about Chicago? How'd you end up there?
I went to Michigan for school, and my dad is from there, so I had a bunch of family. It's very like practical. It was not like a real love story, but I had family in the suburbs. But like everyone I know from college went to New York. And I was like, I'm not doing New York. That's not for me. And I did not want to come home to LA. Period. I mean, I like spent a lot of holidays in Chicago during school. I just like love. It's a very like young focused city. It's like very central downtown. It's like really easy to get around. Like everyone is your age and out, like all the time. It's just like so social. It was just like such a great place to be. 20s. Whatever. Now everyone is in the suburbs with their husbands and children. But yeah, it's just a really great. Have you been to Chicago?
I have. Yeah, okay. It's been a while.
It's just like the best. I just think it's a really great place. I know people like love New York. They're like, oh, the energy, like, blah, blah. But it was like too much energy for me in New York. I mean, Chicago's like a nice medium, and like the summers are incredible. Everyone's outside 24 hours a day. I don't know. They really like did it for me. It like turned me into a person in like a really special way. So.
You didn't mind the weather shift from growing up here?
I mean, Ann Arbor was a real culture shift. Yeah. So once I got to Chicago, I like knew what I was working with, and I have like a sleeping bag coat that like zipped up to my eyes. Plus I was like young and drunk a lot and just like running around. So I was just like, what weather, you know?
Yeah.
And then I aged out of it, and I was like, I'm cold and I'm miserable, and it's time to go.
We all have that weird phase in college, because I was in Cleveland or Kent for college.
Yeah.
And I think I was probably a little bit better about it than a lot of girls, but also had plenty of times where I was that bitch.
Yeah.
But we would wear fucking nothing when there was like 2 feet of snow on the ground, and we would go out and just black out and walk home in our heels. When
heels,
it was, you know,
short skirts, no winter coat because you don't want to carry
-8 with the windshield.
100%.
Yeah.
Like we were just like standing in line to get into the bar that took fake IDs.
Yeah.
With nothing. Like, I would literally never know.
No, I would never know. Good luck getting me out now, first of all.
And in heels? What are you, nuts?
Yeah.
Gen Z has no idea. I mean, I would never go out in sneakers.
I'm so jealous that they're just so comfortable.
I'm so jealous. It really is like, I even, sometimes when I'm like getting dressed up and I'm like, oh, I feel like I should put booties on with this, but like, it's cooler to wear sneakers. But I just feel like my brain is so programmed that like heels are fancy.
Yeah.
But Gen Z doesn't care.
They don't care. But we would remember leggings as pants. That was like a whole era.
That was a whole. I mean that. I have a friend who still really pushes the envelope with leggings as pants. But she's like a teeny tiny little thing, so it works.
She gets away with it.
She gets away with it.
I look back at those photos, like the Facebook albums that I have from college parties with the big mid-waist belts.
Oh yeah.
And the tunics.
Oh, the layers and the
jewelry, the
weird
heavy
under eye eyeliner, like heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really a time. The jeans under dresses.
Chaos.
Was a real moment. Chaos. Just utter chaos. I feel like the 90s is coming back fashion-wise, and I feel like they're going to skip the aughts because there was really nothing to take. Like, what fashion would you take from
the aughts?
Like, nothing.
I don't know, because that was when I was, like, my weirdest. I was, like, a little emo scene kid
You
in
were?
high school. I was, yeah. So I didn't even do the regular trends.
Wow.
I did the scenester kid trends.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
I would love to see pictures.
I wish there were more. There's a few, but unfortunately, everything that got uploaded to MySpace disappeared into the ether.
It's gone.
It's gone.
I bet you can still log into your MySpace. Can you not?
Oh, I don't know.
I bet you can.
I wonder.
I bet it's still up. It's just not active.
That would be cool if it's still up. I might mine for that later.
I think that you should mine for that. Just go to myspace.com. It's like probably very easy to do.
If I found it, that would just, I mean, I could spend all night on that if anything is up there still. I might have deleted it.
I never had a MySpace because I was scared of the internet.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little jealous. I kind of wish. That was such a weird era, and I think because of the people that I was hanging out with then, that made it even more weird, and I just remember drama around Top 8.
Top 8. And then like you could have like a music, like a song playing, right?
Yeah, and I knew like just a tiny bit of HTML, like coding. Is that what it's called, HTML?
You missed your calling.
Yeah, I did.
You could have been a coder.
I know.
You could have found your true passion on MySpace.
That would have given me way more stability than this career.
Well, this is more fun, probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm like the only, I think about this a lot. As far as the kids that I grew up with, because I was in like the immigrant crew.
Yeah.
First of all, I went to a primarily Jewish public school, even though it was a public school and it was not designated as Jewish. It just happened to be that kind of neighborhood where it was like 75-80% Jewish. So like 7th and 8th grade, right? Every fucking weekend. Bar mitzvah. That's all it was. And of the girls that I grew up with, a lot of whom were also like either Russian or Ukrainian immigrants, one of them went on to be a doctor.
Ooh.
One went on to be an actuarial scientist.
Uh-huh.
The other one like got an accelerated accounting degree, and then I moved to LA to do stand-up.
Yeah.
So
you're the star. Everyone's really proud of you.
So I'm the degenerate of the crew.
Yeah.
They all have families. I'm like, can I afford to freeze my eggs this year?
You're just, you're forging your own path.
I wonder why it happened like that, though. What is it about my self-defense mechanisms or need for attention or origin
Can it just
story?
be that you are a creative,
I guess so, and I'm happy with
soul,
it.
And having a 9 to 5 didn't suit your personality,
right? Because I did do that for a bit out of college.
What did you do?
Oh, I thought I wanted to be like a real estate mogul initially.
Really? You could have been on Selling Sunset.
I know.
And ended up exactly where you are now.
So true. No, I didn't start doing stand-up till I'd been living here a couple of years and just kind of aimlessly bopping around wondering what I should do because I wasn't feeling satiated in a cubicle job.
There you go. There's your answer.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's why.
It's not because you're broken. You are probably also
A little bit
mentally
partial,
ill.
for sure.
Yeah,
definitely. We all are.
No normal, happy, stable person is up
Yeah.
at open mics
Agreed.
listening to men talk about their dicks for 3 hours. But overall, probably just because I mean, it's like it gets draining.
Mm-hmm.
It's just water, Monty. It's just my glass of water. Don't get so excited.
Have you had any weird experiences at shows so far or mics? Anything that stands out where you're like, what the hell just happened?
I mean, yeah. Wouldn't it be weirder if I hadn't? If I was just
Yeah,
like,
I guess so.
Yeah, every show has been totally nice and normal. There was one show. Was it? I don't even know if it must have been post-pandemic, but like right after at the Pasadena Comedy that doesn't exist anymore, where this guy, like his whole set was him ranting about how his mom was mentally ill and therefore he hated mentally ill people. I mean, and he was like, he wasn't like dry about it. He was like screaming, like ranting, raving, screaming. And I went up right after him and did 8 minutes about having OCD. And like never been so more uncomfortable. I was like, well, sorry to that guy because you're gonna hate me. That was bizarre. He sometimes shows up to my Wednesday open mic now. And I'm like, I don't know if you remember me or not, but like that is burned in my brain. He's still complaining about his mom. So that's good to know.
What's it like to host an open mic? Because I haven't done that.
Really?
Yeah, I've guest hosted a little bit. I hosted shows over the years.
Yeah.
I feel like I paid my dues that way, but it's quite the
Paid my
community
dues.
service to host a mic.
Yeah, I'm a hero. It's like, honestly, it's a pretty good hang.
Yeah.
I run it with people I like, and for the most part, there are like at least some like regulars who come. So then when there's riffraff, it's like you're all sort of in it together. I also, maybe this is the wrong attitude, but I also sort of feel like a weird sense of like, I don't know how to say this. Like if someone is saying something offensive or rude, I have no problem being like, no, from the back of the room when it's my mic, which I would never do at someone else's mic. I would just quietly let them be offensive. But like I'll like yell from the back of the room. I don't like cut them off, but I like have no problem just like audibly reacting to them being awful. It's just like really, it was really close to my apartment. It is really far from my parents' house. So the commute is really the worst part. It's not terrible. I mean, a lot of people don't want to do it, which is why there are like virtually no mics left in LA, I feel like.
It's true. It's sad. There's not. I find myself going to the same ones all the time.
Where do you go?
I just go proximity-wise to like
Oh.
ones on the west side, and
Yeah.
a lot of them are hard to even sign up for because they're slotted and it's competitive because there are so few.
Yeah.
And then I don't get to really work on what I want to work on because it's kind of the same people going to the mics all the time. And I'm like, well, you guys heard all this last week and you hated it then, so why would I repeat it now?
Not going to be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it gets
It
really
sucks.
challenging to actually work stuff out.
I tried to start a Tuesday open mic on the west side, and I emailed like 50 places, and I couldn't find anyone that would, like,
Dang.
either get back to me or I had some donut shop that was interested and then lost touch with them. It's like,
That would have been kind of nice.
I
Like
know.
a donut shop?
Yes.
I'd be into that.
and I
would go.
said, I was like, it's the end of your day. I'll make like one item the cost of the mic. You'll get an extra push of sales at the end of your day. We'll have a space, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, this sounds so fun, da, da, da. And then I never heard from them again. I know. So, I don't know. But it's not, I mean, I don't know. I run a show too, which I think is harder than running a mic.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Running a show is tough because then you have to worry about ticket sales and all that.
Correct.
And that's so stressful.
It's terrible.
It doesn't really matter if people don't come to your mic. Like,
That's
it
right.
sucks, but it's
You go
it's
home.
fine.
You
Yeah.
can just like go home, and
Yeah.
it's kind of great. Yeah.
Your show was so fun. I did your show.
Thank you.
I
It's
did it
really
with Josh Lanzette, and it was very easy to come up with a quirk for him.
He's got a lot of them.
Yeah, he's very theatrical.
He is very theatrical. Yeah, lots of pointing. Always lots of pointing and sidestepping. You guys used to run a show together.
We did.
Yeah.
I co-ran a show with him for a few years.
Yeah.
Before that, I ran a show when I was like a baby comic, and it's kind of amazing. I will name drop. I don't care, because I'm so impressed at what baby me was capable of. But when I started, I had a show at the West Side that I co-ran, and back then we had Ali Wong, Tom Segura, Theo Vaughn. Like we had all
For real?
For real. Because 10 years ago they weren't what they are now.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Thanks. Yeah.
You ran the show by yourself?
No, I co-ran it. Yeah.
It's very impressive.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I can't believe we were able to book all those people.
You're like tastemakers. You like saw the up and coming talent. And you
They
knew.
were already big then. I think
Yeah.
between her and I, we had a decent amount of access to people's like emails and stuff, and everybody was just like saying yes. So we're like, okay, cool. They're saying yes, great. And we would throw just these fucking banger shows at West Side, and even then struggled to like sell them out.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is it so
I think
hard
with the
to
one we had
win?
Ali Wong on, she was already pretty big by then, so that one I think did sell out. But the other ones, it was like tough to get bodies in the room because there's just such an abundance of big names here.
I know.
So no one cares. When you have like a killer lineup, they're like, yeah, okay, but I can also just go to any of the clubs on any of the nights and see the same thing.
I know. It's like support. There are lots of very funny people. Like people ask me like, you know, like who are your favorite comics? And I was like, the women I like to watch aren't even like the famous.
Right.
Like the women I love are like cusping. They're like in LA. Like go see. And I truly mean that. And it's like, how can I like convince you to go see these shows? Not even my show, just like smaller shows that have these women who are like on the verge of hitting it. Because there aren't like huge names really that I'm like obsessed with.
I agree.
Is that terrible? Okay.
Yeah, I would say probably the more bigger female comics that I'm upset that are like starting to gain some traction. Like Deb Giovanni, where it's like she's starting to get bigger, but I still feel like if you're not in comedy, you might not know of her. And that's where I'm like, oh my god, anytime she's on a lineup, I'm so happy to watch her.
Yes. I'm like, go see those people. Mm-hmm. Be an early adopter.
Yeah.
Get in there before they're too big.
I wonder if I think it's just because there's too much content and things get lost, and unless you're actively collecting emails and sending.
Yeah.
I think email is the only real way to get to people, but it's so hard to get to them that way.
But even like, I mean, I have sent out emails for drinking habits, and even still, it's like I can't. I don't know. I just like pray. It's like I feel like every month I'm throwing myself a birthday party and just like hoping I have friends who will come.
That is how it feels to run a show.
It does, right? It's just like sad. I'm just like, will anyone come hang out with me tonight?
That keeps me from running a show again.
Yeah.
The ticket selling aspect of it.
It's not great, but then it's like, if I just feel like there are not people who ran shows stop because it's terrible and no one wants to start a new one. And it's like, if I stop doing this, it's like
one less good show out there for people to be
one less show at all.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm trying to like meet people and like offer stage time, but it's like, where are all the other shows that it's just like and it sucks. It's like really hard to do. Anyway, but it's fun, and I believe that someone will come watch the show.
How'd you come up with that concept? Because you explain it better than I explain it.
I don't really, honestly. I cannot do it succinctly. Comics, I book comics in pairs, like as best friends, and they each secretly out the other person's worst stage habit. I give that information to the audience. Whenever they do that during their set, everybody drinks. Most of the time what happens is the comic has a meltdown because they're so distracted trying to figure out what their habit is, which is my favorite part of the show. But I was on an improv team in Chicago, and we actually did it. One of the girls suggested it like for an improv show. So we would do it where like we were all on stage holding a beer, and each two people would know the third person's. We would all be drinking on stage, whatever. Anyway. I didn't explain that well, but it started as an improv show game, and I asked her if I could adapt it for stand-up, and she said yeah. So I didn't really come up with it.
But it's good for and it's funny based on who you team up with. Like it was easy for me and Josh because we ran a show together because I know him as like a comedian so well. And his thing for me was that I hold a microphone with two hands.
Yeah.
And I did do that for the longest time. I was like, It's heavy.
You're so tiny.
So tiny. It's probably why I'm like obsessed with doing upper body at the gym now, because I'm like, I will not hold a microphone.
I will one, and I won't rest it on my face either.
See, that's what I do now, though. I rest it on my face, and it's so disgusting.
It's gross.
So gross, and I cannot stop. It's like I've had this terrible habit now for 10 years of just...
No.
I know.
Think of all the greasy people who put that mic on their faces.
Oh, it's so hard to stop, though. I don't even realize I'm doing it until afterwards, and I'm done with my set, and I'm like, it's on my chin the whole
alcohol
time.
wipes after the...
Yeah, well, I have that, what's it called? Ascorbic acid now, that spray. Because of TikTok, so I use that now.
So if I were to ask you what you do in your free time, would
it's TikTok.
Watching TikTok be the... Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah.
That seems to be the theme.
I wish it wasn't. It's kind of a denigrating
they
thing
also
to
took
admit.
it away from you.
Yeah, it was the worst 12 hours of my life.
Did you get anything done? Were you like so productive?
Yeah, I recorded 15 podcasts.
Yeah. And now it's back.
I wrote a novel.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just imagine what life could be.
I don't, I give myself limits. Like, I try to only really watch it at night before bed.
For like 6 hours.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's so offensive, too, because this is how smart the algorithm is. When I've been scrolling on it for a while, there's a woman that comes up.
Wait, I just heard about that.
And she goes, so how long have you been scroll? Or she like scroll shames you.
Yeah.
And it does work. I do get off when I get that
Really?
video. Yeah.
I just learned about her.
Uh-huh.
You know why? Because I'm not on TikTok. So I've never come across her.
I hate that I've come across her a lot.
Every day. Every night.
Not every night, but
Okay,
close.
good.
Well, once a week.
It makes me, being on TikTok makes me angsty because it just makes me feel like I'm not creating enough.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
So
but
then I
I
just
don't
don't
watch
watch
like
it all.
comedians on there at all. Most of what I'm watching has nothing to do with
I
comedy.
know, but I still am like, oh, look at all these people like making content and being productive, and then I can't.
Yeah.
So scrolling just like makes me feel like inept.
I get that. I wish that was the case for me, but then there's so many creators whose stuff I like and who will
And there's so much.
either like life tips or silly stuff, or it's been a lot of news lately, which I'm trying to scroll away from so it doesn't give me so much of that.
Yeah.
I don't want it, but I like the stuff that's kind of mindless. One of the weird niches that I've gotten into is these bodybuilders coming up to other bodybuilders and asking them if they're natty or not.
What does natty mean?
And meaning if they're on steroids or not, like natty natural or not.
Oh.
And a lot of times they're not.
Will they answer?
Yeah, they'll answer. They're pretty
Oh.
honest about it. So when someone's not being honest about it, you can tell. And with a lot of the female bodybuilders, if they are on stuff,
Yeah.
their voices sound like this. So when they answer, if they're trying to lie, you just hear it right away because their voice is down so many
deep.
octaves because they're on like fucking testosterone.
Are you on gym talk now because you started to lift, bro? Do you think that
Probably.
Yeah.
I think so. And it's not even necessarily because I wanted to. It's just like a budget thing. All the gyms around, the closest gym to me is Equinox. I'm not about to pay $300 a month to go there. And then the next closest gym to me is the Gold's Gym in Venice, which is just full of hot gym influencers. It's not outside, but so many of the gym influencers go work out there, and a lot of them are like, no,
Oh.
I don't want to go there.
Where do you work out then?
At my building, which has very limited equipment, so I'm kind of
oh.
forced to just weightlift because that's like kind
Gotcha,
of all I have
gotcha.
access to.
Okay, I see. I thought you were saying that your only option was this Gold's Gym and they all convinced you to start weightlifting.
No, I just feel like I can't go there because I would just be too self-conscious working out in front of the people that work out there.
Fall in love.
We'll just go to my apartment gym.
We're the
and that's fine.
regulars. Yeah. Understood.
With my 80-year-old neighbor who, when no one else is in there, cracks his head and watches me, and I'm like,
Oh no.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Maybe he's just impressed with your form.
He's tried to correct me multiple times.
No.
I've never been so insulted. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
A couple times. He's stopped now because I think I'm like beasting in front of him enough that he's like, okay, she obviously doesn't need my help. He's tried to correct me a couple times, and the other day he was like watching me do pull-ups, which I'm like so proud of myself for even being able to do.
I'm very impressed he even said that.
And so now he doesn't, but like yesterday we were at the gym and it was me, him, and a third person, and as soon as the third person left, he all of a sudden started like actively watching me work out, and so I cut my workout short because I was just so skeeved out.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bummer.
It
Is he
is.
really 80?
Close.
Yeah.
And I've been kind of rude to him when he was, at first he tries to, tell me how I should be working out,
Yeah.
and I was like, great. And then he did it again and like interrupted me to try to tell me how to do something, and I go, hey, I don't need your help, thanks. Like I straight up said it.
Oh.
Because he wasn't gonna stop.
Yeah. Did he get sad when you?
No, because he keeps. I could tell yesterday that he was about to say
I would
something
feel
if I
bad
had
when this
left.
really problematic old man.
Yeah, don't feel bad
like
for
he's
him.
so sad.
He's the worst. When I went to go pet his dog one time, I was like petting his dog on the head like this,
Yeah.
and he grabbed my hand and moved it to a different part of his dog.
Why?
And I was like, don't touch me.
That's weird.
Yeah.
He could just be like, my dog doesn't like that.
Yeah. Why are you touching me?
No, we don't love that.
Yeah.
Is he alone? Is he single?
Probably.
Or a widow? Widower?
Don't make me feel bad for him. I don't know.
immediately like, this is a sad old man. He just needs friends. He doesn't know.
I'm
That's
not
my
sure.
gut reaction.
Yeah. Weird neighbors are a given, I think.
I live with my parents, so
Yeah.
it's
There you go. Weird
we have the
roommates.
weirdest neighbors.
I bet they love having you around.
I don't know that that's true. I'm not sure that that's accurate. We argue a lot.
Are they retired?
No, my
No,
dad
they're
works full
working.
time. My dad's 86.
And working full
Still
time?
working, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, he's doing it.
Oh man.
He's working. Yeah.
I don't know what we do about men who can't navigate decorating a home.
Honestly, I have no aesthetic
Oh, you don't?
sensibility, so I'm like in no position to shame anybody.
What are your blind spots?
In terms of what?
I don't know. Life. What's something you're trying to work on right now?
Like getting a job.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
My blind spots. That's a hard question.
It's a deep one. I know. I threw a curveball.
Yeah. I feel like it like depends on like the category.
Yeah.
Uh,
What's like a self-care blind spot you have? Are you like neglecting yourself in some way?
for sure. In probably a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been in therapy.
Are you like a big therapy person?
Yeah. I should probably, health-wise, I should probably be really managing my OCD more than I am. But is it a blind spot if I know about it?
I
Yes.
guess if you're
Okay.
actively not doing anything about it.
Yeah, I'm actively not doing anything about it. That's true. I did for a while. I took medical leave. I was doing exposure response prevention therapy, but then I haven't been since then. And the only reason I'm talking to a therapist right now is because it's someone who offered free sessions for people impacted by the fire.
Oh,
so,
that's amazing.
yeah, she's really lovely, and I wish she lived in California so I could see her once this was done. But that's probably a big one. I think my blind spot for like people is that I feel like I don't really have a middle ground. I'm either like I hate everyone or I let exes come back into my life because I'm like, oh well, I don't know, they seem fine. You know? Does that count as a blind
Yeah.
spot?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Do you share yours? Or is this only for...
No, I share mine. I'm trying to. It's so funny because I'm like, oh, I know, I want to know yours, and then I'm like, what the hell's mine?
Yeah.
Mine is being a judgy, but I
Oh.
also don't pathologize how judgmental I am sometimes because I'm always right. But it's something I have to work on for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
I am aware of it.
That you're judgmental.
Yeah.
To people's faces or like behind their backs?
Both.
Uh-huh. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you can always tell me to my face. I'd rather know.
Yeah.
I'd rather you say it right to me than whisper it to someone else. 100%. Just not like on camera. But
Yeah,
like,
no, not on
literally,
camera.
Yeah.
No.
Privately, feel free
No
to tell
judgments
me.
at all.
Yeah.
I feel like you seem very put together and productive, so.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah. We are friends now, but after I started running my Wednesday mic, a younger comic, I was in like yoga pants and a hoodie, I was like a hot mess, and she came up to me and she was like, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but you dress like someone who's like too busy to care about what she looks like leaving the house. I was like, that's the best thing you've ever said to me. She was like, you know, I mean, just mean like, you seem like someone who like has your shit together, so you just like don't care what you look like. And I was like, you can keep repeating it in different ways. It's still horribly funny and kind of mean, and I love it so much.
It's kind of mean, but there's some level of kind of complimentary in there.
And also wrong. Like, in no way do I... She's like, you seem like someone's like doing her taxes. Like, she's giving me examples.
You do seem like someone who does her taxes.
For real?
Yes. It's the glasses.
Love that. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I mean, never. I wait until the day before, and then I run to H&R Block, and I'm like, Lord, help me, because these are due. Like, I procrastinate. Oh, that's a blind spot.
Do you have anything that you do to get over that? Like, if you have to have something done, how do you like get going?
I have a lot of to-do lists, but then I just make new to-do lists because I'm like, this one's stressing me out and I'm never gonna finish things on it.
I have an app for you.
What is it called?
It's called TickTick. It's not TikTok. It's not No.
Want to avoid everything altogether? I have a great recommendation.
Yeah, get on TikTok. No, it's called TickTick.
Okay.
And it's a to-do list app. And here's why I like it.
Okay.
Because it has check boxes on it. And when you hit one, it makes a bing. And it, like, I get a little dopamine hit. Yeah.
I will try it. I've tried it all. I have discovered, what's it called, like body doubling? It's like an ADHD tactic. I've not been diagnosed with ADHD, but who's to say I won't be? But it's like you like work alongside someone, and like having the other person there also working helps you. I don't know what. I'm not explaining the science of it. I want that to be very clear.
But I'm gonna look into this.
But look into it, and I have found that, like, if I were to take my computer out right now and you were also working, I would get a lot more done, just like knowing that there's, I don't know what it.
It's a level of accountability.
Yeah. Yeah. I just like I get more phone calls done. Like the thought of like calling the unemployment department like stresses me out.
Of course.
But like if someone were sitting there, it would be like I would just be like, okay, well I'm here. I have 10 minutes. I have to do it. I also need to get my California Real ID that I haven't done yet. Have you done that yet?
I have done that, yeah, but that's because I already had to renew it anyways.
Oh, mine's expired. Don't tell the police.
As a notary, I'm deeply offended that you're walking around with an expired ID.
Can you arrest me?
No, but I can't notarize you.
No, that I know. Yeah.
Not that you're running around.
I have a lot of contracts that I need. I actually brought them with me just to get it done at the same time. Yeah, no, it's not great. But like, I hate the DMV so much.
I know, it's a nightmare.
My mom keeps being like, what if I take you and we like get coffee? She's like trying to
That's
bribe
really
me.
sweet.
I know, and I'm like, try it.
I love that.
Try one day and see what happens. So far, no.
Well,
okay.
Should we wrap it up
You
here?
gonna land this plane.
Land this plane.
Okay.
Jamie Bliss.
Yes.
Where can people find you and what you're up to?
On the internet, on TikTok. Have you heard of? Is anyone else familiar with? I have a podcast called Talk Petty to Me.
What a great name.
Thank you. And, you know, sometimes on stage. And is that a good sell? Am I doing a good job?
Yeah, Drinking Habits once a month.
Drinking Habits once a month at the Glendale Room. And just generally on the, I have really good SEO. So if you Google my name, yeah, it's weird actually. I'll pop up. And that's, thank you and Monty for having me.
Of course, yeah, thanks
It's
for doing the show.
delightful.
Thank you everybody for listening. Bye.